Let's look at how we can use the building block function in the Generations program to have access to items that we use on a regular basis, even if these items or designs are not designs that were created in Generations. The perfect example would be a monogram font. So if you're using a monogram font that you've purchased on a regular basis, you might want to save it in the building block so you always have access to it. First things first, let's make sure that our building block bar function is open and showing on the bottom of the screen. And to do that, we're going to come up to View on the main menu, mouse over your toolbar option, and you'll see all of the toolbars that are showing have a check mark next to them. Let's go down to the building block bar and place a left click, which places a check mark next to it, and opens your building blocks on the bottom of your screen. So here's my building block bar. And now we're ready to make a unique folder on this bar. To do that, I just simply take my mouse over any one of the tabs that are already on this building block bar and right click. Go to Add Page from the pop-up menu and name your new folder or your new building block page. In this case, I'm going to name mine French Monograms. Okay, and there's my new tab. Now I can open designs and then save them into this folder. In this case, I'm using a pre-digitized monogram font set that I purchased, and this is in DST. So if you purchased files in DST, you should have a color chart from the designer that you can use, because DST does not save your colors. And I can import the designs into the program, and I have a couple of options if they're in DST. Let's look at the first and quickest option. For DST format files only, I can come over to the original import option, and there's a little arrow next to that icon, and if I click on that, I have an import to option. Import to is DST only, and you can see it instantly defaults to DST. And I can come over here and I can select one of the design files that I want to open. I just left click to select it and then click the open button, and it imports the design into my program screen. From here, as I said, you're going to want to use the color chart that came with your designs and make changes to the colors. And to do that, all I have to do is come over to my little color chip bar, click on that first color, and you can see what's highlighted. And then come down here and select a new color for the sections that are highlighted, or use the color chart and select the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that green to change my leaves to green. And you would just continue to do that for each color in the design until the design was in the colors that you desired. So I've changed the design to be the colors that I want, and now I can save this file into my building block bar. And to do that, all I have to do is come up to Accessories on the main menu, go down to the building block bar option, and then Save Building Block. When I click on Save Building Block, the little Save Building Block dialog box opens, and what I want to find is the new folder I made, which is French Monograms. And I would just save this as B. Say OK. Nothing's going to show in this folder down here unless I click on one and then go back to it. And you can see there is my B on the building block bars. So now this is all fine and dandy, except that what do you do with that? Well, let me go over to Make a New Design. And what I can do with building blocks is just drag and drop them onto the screen. And there's my B. So we've looked at how to best handle a DST format file, but what about other formats such as PES or JEF or any of the other home machine formats? Well, you have another import option you can also use for DST, but works better for your machine formats. That import option is going to be this little blue sewing machine, and it's called Enhanced Import, and this is Enhanced Export. So let's go ahead and click on the blue sewing machine, locate your folder in the look in option. You can see it went automatically to the last folder that I was at. So there's my monograms, and in this case here's my JEF format design. So I'm going to double click on those, And let's go ahead and open up the A. So here's the A. My colors stayed a little closer to the original colors because it's a home machine format and it does keep some of your color information. I would still want to click on some of the color chips and change some of the colors in the design based on either my preferences or what the color card says from the designer. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit maybe happier color. There we go. So there's my A, and it's going to be the same thing. I've already created my folder, so now all I have to do is come up to Accessories, Building Block, save my building block, locate the new folder, and then just give this file a name, such as A. Again, it won't show up on the building block bar down here until I click off of the folder and then click back onto it, and there's my A. And it's going to be the same thing. I can drag and drop this into place, or I can double left click and place it multiple times. Now, some of you are thinking, is there any way to do this other than each letter? And the answer is no. Each building block needs to be saved individually. For example, if I, had A and B up here, and I went to save this, what would happen is it would save both letters, even if I have like the B selected. So let's go to Accessories, Building Block, and save this building block. And we'll call it B2 just so you can see what's going on. What happens is anything in my screen now is saved exactly as it was on the screen, and that's going to include designs as well as images. So you would need to save each letter individually, but the advantage of saving those individually would be this. I can come up here and I can click on this, I can click on this, I can go over to a different file folder here for the building blocks, and I can enhance these any way I want and add other designs to them. So let's go ahead and generate. And there's my new design file created from my building blocks rather than having to import the design each time I want to use it.